is aerobic respiration. Let me go back. Sorry, let me just check and make sure that isn't somebody who needs approval. Okay, we're fine. The first type is aerobic respiration. I was a mad woman and very tired when I made this, so you get very awkward song references for all of these, and I enjoyed myself a lot. Thank you very much. Aerobic respiration occurs in the presence of oxygen. I remember that because aerobic needs air. This is a type of respiration that converts sugar in food into a chemical energy. Okay, so that's kind of like how our bodies take energy from the food we eat and give us energy to go. Respiration is one of those words that is kind of confusing because we think of it as breathing, in and out breathing, but at a cell level, so for a bacteria or for our individual cells, respiration means that food and sugar in tiny molecules goes in, that sugar is broken apart, and that energy is released, okay? In the process, it releases carbon dioxide, which we do breathe out, so that's the respiration. We're getting rid of the waste. But at a cell level, respiration is breaking down food for energy. Okay, respiration here, I put us in a little gray box, occurs in the cytoplasm of bacteria because they don't have what are called mitochondria. When you learn about cells, that's often the one that everybody is like, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. But nobody really knows what that means. It's really just where respiration occurs. Okay, bacteria don't have those. You just did a worksheet on bacteria parts and there was no mitochondria. So it has to happen in the cytoplasm. That's the little gel stuff inside that kind of keeps everything from sloshing around. I gave you an example here of aerobic bacteria. That is Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which causes tuberculosis. But you knew that. The next type is called anaerobic. When you see an in the beginning of a word as a prefix, that usually means that it is not. That is opposite. Okay, so anaerobic means no oxygen present. Okay, fermentation is a good example of anaerobic respiration. It does not require oxygen to break down materials like sugar. Okay, this produces a small amount of energy. It's not very efficient. Then it creates byproducts like methane gas, which smells really bad. It creates alcohol, and it also creates lactic acid, which is what builds up in your muscles as you work out, like me. An example of anaerobic bacteria is called Clostridium botulinum. This is sometimes present in like canned foods. If the can has been contaminated by something or it's, something happened to it at the factory, whatever, you can get food poisoning, you can get botulism. That's not a good one. You don't want that. But this is a picture of what the botulinum, my dog's barking. This is a picture of what botulinum bacteria looks like. Next is a process called chemosynthesis. If you've ever learned about marine biology, you've probably heard about this one before. This type of bacteria uses something that's called inorganic, which is the opposite of living things, so it's non-living. And it uses inorganic chemical reactions to create sugar, just like plants use the sun to make sugar, okay? They're often found in these extreme environments like hot springs. There's no oxygen down there. Hydrothermal vents, that's at the bottom of the ocean. Again, no sunlight, so you can't produce sugar from the sun in the bottom of the ocean. Cold seeps are also at the bottom of the ocean. It's just cold water coming out instead of hot water like the hydrothermal vents. These bacteria can also be found in super salty water, super mineral rich water, where like a lot of other organisms really couldn't survive. So they can't feed on normal things. They have to figure out another way. They create energy from molecules like sulfides, ammonias, methane. These are gases that are usually kind of waste products for other organisms. I don't know how to pronounce this. I tried in my last one. I think it's Venenvibrio stagnus amantis. I don't really have a clue, but that type of bacteria, that's a picture of it, lives in hot springs. So think of like Yellowstone National Park. There's the Grand Prismatic Spring. I will actually log out of my video to show you what that looks like because it's so pretty. I'm sure most of you have seen pictures of it before. It's super famous, but it's this really gorgeous, colorful hot spring. Okay, so there are bacteria that live in here. this water is extremely hot. Like, you are only allowed to walk on a boardwalk near it. There's people on this boardwalk way back here. It's very big and extremely hot. You will die. But the bacteria don't, because they're kind of amazing. So, back to bacteria. The last type here of energy is photosynthesis. This is just like the way plants do. It's very similar anyway. That's the closest thing you can get to similarity, is the way that plants take in energy, or take in sunlight energy and convert it into sugar. So photosynthetic bacteria contain one of two types of pigments. The first one is over here in green. It's the same one that plants have. Okay, it's called chlorophyll. This is a green pigment. The reason why plants look green is because that is the only color that they don't absorb. Okay, I think I've told you before, color's not real. All right, so my shirt has like teal on it. That's because this area, this pigment, reflects teal and absorbs every other color. Okay, a red sweatshirt absorbs every color except red. Red bounces off of the sweater back into your eyes, and you're like, oh, it's red. That's why plants are green. It's weird and crazy. Okay. Chlorophyll is what makes plants green, and it's what makes some bacteria, like these guys down here, also green. Okay, that chlorophyll collects light, uses light in a series of really complicated reactions, and produces energy. It's awesome. The other type here is called bacteriochlorophyll, which is a cousin of chlorophyll. It absorbs different wavelengths of light. Make sure to mute yourself. Thank you.
Sorry, Kurt.
Different wavelengths of light, and it does not require water. As a result, no oxygen is produced here. Chlorophyll does produce oxygen just like plants do. I think my last slide is just, this is how bacteria breed in very sped up ways. They just kind of get bigger and then split into two, and then they get bigger. And can somebody mute their please? Thank you. All right, so I think that's it as far as your slides. Again, I'm recording this so you'll be able to go back and see your slides. Just go back, pause the video. What's in here? All right, so you've got two things to do. The first one here is a worksheet. And on that worksheet, you will have, I'm actually going to go back because I can't see the words. You've got words over here on the left-hand side, and you're going to have to click and drag those words onto the worksheet. And then once you're done, you'll click submit. It'll come right to me. I can grade it, return it to you, and everything will be fine. The other thing is this wanted poster. So this is already posted for you in your classwork for today. You can do one of the parts today and the other one tomorrow. I don't mind. But what the idea is here, and I had a field day creating this for you. I got into my whole like Old West theme. So you're going to create wanted posters for two different pathogens. Okay, one will be a bacteria, which you've learned about already, and the other will be a virus. We'll start viruses tomorrow and continue viruses into next week. So for the first one, you're going to choose one of these bacteria, and then you're going to tell me the common name of the bacteria, the scientific name, how it infects its victims, the disease it causes, how we treat it or prevent it. Okay, you're also going to give me a picture of that bacteria. You're going to do the same thing with viruses. Again, you can do this today or tomorrow. I actually put in the calendar that the wanted poster is taken 2 days. So I don't mind if you post it to me tomorrow. Where did I put that? We're going to look at classwork. Yeah, here's your wanted poster. So it's due tomorrow. You have today and tomorrow. Some people are already working on it. That's great. Okay. Let me go back to our little meeting here. Somebody is trying to get in. It doesn't belong in here. Let's see. Do we have any questions that I need to go over? Nick, we're not doing more work online. I don't know about your other classes though, so I'm just messing with you. If you have the project for tomorrow, you'll probably you'll still have a worksheet to do tomorrow, yeah. But the project shouldn't take you long. I gave you a list of bacteria to do and then a list of viruses to do. You just choose whichever one you want. I don't know who that person is. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop recording so we can take questions. Let's go away. How do I do this? How do I do this? Oh my goodness. I don't know who this person is, but they are getting annoying. All right, we're going to stop recording.